Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here, and today we continue with the Ken Waller Classic Bodybuilding series. And if you are a fan of this channel, you will want to watch this video till the end, because in this segment of the interview, Ken Waller describes his legs routine. And here I want to show you a great photo courtesy of John Ballack of the great Ken Waller legs. Look at that. Those quads are phenomenal. And his calves too. We'll be talking about that actually in the next video. The man had excellent leg development, and today we are going to learn the kind of exercises and techniques that Ken Waller used to develop his legs, namely his quads and hamstrings. Here is Ken Waller. Enjoy.
That's what, he liked Arnold liked to come over and do the squats with me, but I didn't like to go over and do the T-bar rows with him.
Yeah, okay. That's good. It's nice to know the differences. What about legs? So we've talked about what you're doing on a Monday afternoon, which is chest and back. Now legs. There's the awesome footage of you guys and photos, of course, in Pumping Iron, in the book, and in the film of the squats that you guys would do. How much would you do on the squat for leg day, or for Monday morning?
Oh, squats, I would always go over 500 pounds.
Yeah.
And then the one thing, in 1972, I was training for they had a Mr. Universe over in Baghdad. I think Ed Corney won it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was on the way, doing good, and Joe Gold had a leg machine that you lay down, your back on the board,
yeah,
and you press it up, straight up. Okay. Now that was a crazy machine because you could put so much weight on there, and then you could stick more weight on top of it. Well, anyway, I had about 1,500 pounds on that damn machine, and I was bringing it down, and I guess maybe bouncing it or something off of my ribs or whatever was there, and I separated my ribs, and I couldn't do anything hardly for almost 6 weeks. So that's why I didn't go to the 7. So luckily, if I'd have won the universe that year, I wouldn't have got to go to South Africa in 75.
Yeah. Yes.
Or if Louis wouldn't have beat me in, like I said, if Louis wouldn't have beat me in 73 and 74. So everything worked out, I think, because I got to be in Pumping Iron.
Yeah.
And you ask anybody else who won, anybody else who won certain Mr. Universe contests, they can't tell you.
Yeah.
But a lot of people know about the movie Pumping Iron.
Yeah.
So I just figure it all came out all right.
Yeah, it did. So you were talking about the vertical leg press that Joe Gold had in the corner of Gold's gym. I remember I've seen photos of it.
Yeah, straight up. You lay on your back and you press it straight up.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
Your knees, and if you're not careful, your knees will come down and bounce right off your chest or abdomen or whatever. It depends on what angle you are.
Yeah.
But anyway, boy, it messed me up.
Yeah. Ouch. So you did 1,500 pounds in that, 500 pounds on the squat. How many reps would you do with 500 pounds on the squat?
Oh, I could do easy 10 reps on the squat. I'd get up to 10 reps on that easy.
And would it be the same, like you just slowly increase the poundage?
Now, and back then, when we worked out, there wasn't none of this stuff. You go down a little ways. You had to go all the way down. It don't even count. Because your partners would be sitting there counting for you.
Yeah.
And if you didn't go down and break a good parallel, it don't count. It's not a rep.
So how many sets could you do with 500 pounds?
Well, I never tried to do sets with I would do one set with 500 pounds, say like 10 reps.
Okay.
But I never tried to see if I could do 4 or 5 sets of 10.
Okay.
Because the next one after that would be maybe 520 for like 7 reps or something.
Okay, so you'd just be pyramiding up.
Yeah.
Okay. How many reps would you do with 1500 on the leg press then?
Oh, that would be like 10 reps.
Yeah. Again, pyramiding up?
Whatever I do. Now, on that leg press, I always used to shoot for reps. Because that wasn't, to me, a power exercise.
Yeah. Yeah. And would it also be pyramiding up, like the squat, slowly going up in weight?
Well, that 15 would be the top.
Yeah, okay. I would say so. What other exercises would you use for your legs then? I mean, leg curl, leg extension, anything like that? Hack machine?
Leg curl, leg machine.
Right, that's legs. So you're talking leg extensions as well, leg curls. Were all these exercises done again for 4 or 5 sets like before?
Yeah, basically everything about 5 sets up to 10 reps.
Yeah.
And I hate leg curls for some reason. I don't know why. I just don't.
Did you ever do any kind of a deadlift, traditional or stiff-legged?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Never did. And again, Frankel and Arnold did that, and I didn't do it.
All right.
And something else I never did for legs would be lunges. That always hurt my knees, and I didn't want to take a chance on messing my knees up.
What about front squats?
Never did those either.
Okay. Now, as we have heard from Ken Waller himself, Arnold actually liked doing squats with Ken Waller, doing 500-pound squats by 10 reps to at least parallel, he would say, and then moving up to 520 pounds for 7 reps and continually, I'm assuming, moving up. The images that were taken back then show Ken and Arnold battling it out with the iron, where they would use a pyramid scheme, moving up in weight with each set. Ken also performed the vertical leg press, although he didn't like it as much, as he put it. Ken would use as much as 1,500 pounds for 10 reps, but he also mentioned that the reason he didn't like it too much was because at one point he injured his ribs. He had to go real deep. One would go real deep with the vertical leg press until the legs were basically touching or coming down onto your chest, onto your ribs. And because of this injury that he suffered once, he couldn't compete that year. But this is the way serendipity goes. Although the injury prevented him from competing, it meant that he would compete later in the 1975 Mr. Universe, which was of course shown in Pumping Iron, and he gained great exposure in Pumping Iron, which was great of course for his image and fame. Ken Waller also states that he performed leg curls and leg extensions, although he didn't like the leg curls that much. Also, he never performed stiff-legged deadlifts. Lunges would bother his knees, so he wouldn't do those either, and he didn't like doing front squats. And as we've heard from Ken as well, he performed a total of about 20 sets for legs, with at least 4 to 5 exercises using approximately 4 to 5 sets per exercise. For both the squat and vertical leg press, he would use a pyramid scheme technique to increase the weight whilst decreasing the reps, increasing intensity with each set. At this point, I want to point out that it's interesting to note the differences between Ken Waller's training and that of Franco and Arnold's and other Gold's Gym members, as they all trained according to what worked for their individual physiques. On that note, it is important to note that training styles are entirely unique to each individual, and in order to train correctly, one needs to understand one's strengths and weaknesses, and only then is one capable of training optimally. I use such principles to categorize my clients and help them understand their capabilities, and they have also developed amazing natural physiques. If interested in my online coaching program, please get in touch. So that was Ken Waller on his favorite leg exercises and leg routine. And if you enjoyed the video, then please give the video a like, subscribe, and drop me your comments. What do you think of Ken Waller's training program? Do you use basic movements like the squat or leg press in your routine? Let me know in the comment section. That's it from me. This is the Golden Era Bookworm saying bye for now. Head to www.goldenerabookworm.com for the biggest range of classic old school bodybuilding books as ebooks, e-magazines such as Iron Man and Reg Park Journal, high quality bodybuilding posters of the Golden Era stars, merchandise and classic gymwear featuring Steve Reeves, Marvin Eder, John Grimmick, Reg Park, and many other Golden Era stars. For those wishing to build a classic physique, lose fat and build muscle, online training is also available. Collectibles such as rare autographed photos from the Golden Era stars are also available, and to collaborate, please get in touch. Now, if you're interested in learning more about Vince Gironda's approach to bodybuilding, his principles, and all these tips of wisdom that he has, I mean, there's so much stuff that probably hasn't been proven by science, and it will take science to prove or disprove Vince. But to be honest, these 3 books, I believe, which I call the Classic Physique Bundle, are the best books that Vince ever came out with. And they, of course, are the Wild Physique, the Master Series, and the Pro Series. Have a look at it this way. The Wild Physique, I believe, is like the ABCs of Vince Gironda's principles to bodybuilding. He teaches you the exercises and his principles. But how do you put them together? Well, the Master Series is a 14-month program of using all of these principles, all of the diets that Vince came out with, all of the exercises. And of course, the Pro Series was a book that he came out with later on, specially targeted for getting into competition. It's just these 3 books, as I call it, the Classic Physique Bundle, Vince's best work, and available, of course, at www.goldenerabookworm.com.